Hi, dog mums and dads. Welcome back to another episode of The Natural Dog Mum. We're here today speaking with Fiona from Pet Deli. If you live in the Adelaide area, you need to pop in. If you're looking for all sorts of natural products, if you're looking to get into raw feeding, fresh feeding, if you're looking for supplements, all of the good stuff that you need to make sure that your pup or your puss is naturally healthy, and this is the place to go. We're going to be having a chat today about holistic healthcare and what that means in real terms, and talking about some really exciting things that are happening in store. So stick around. Hey, thanks for coming.
My God, well, that's an amazing introduction. Thank you very much for that, Sherry.
You are very welcome. You have well and truly earned it. Thank you so much for coming on. I've been dying to chat to you for quite a while now. To talk about all the exciting things that you've got happening in store, all the amazing products and services, which we'll get into a little bit later. Just out of curiosity, how did you start? What was your journey to Pet Deli and what you're doing now?
It was one of those sliding door moments, I think. It's one of those things that was meant to be. I was in the corporate world for 27 years. And in about, I think it was 2018, I was a customer of Pet Deli. Deb, the previous owner, had talked to me about fresh food feeding for my dog, Indy. And she had a staff member put up a post on social media saying, does anyone know of someone that can work? She was leaving, and I just said to Deb, more than happy to help out. I'll learn about fresh food feeding. It'll help you. Don't even have to pay me, because I was getting paid from my job for my long service leave. And then we just became really good friends, really good friends. We kept walking and doing all sorts of things together, which was amazing. And the opportunity presented itself to buy the business. As simple as that. I was terrified. I was nervous. I was, oh my God, an amazing job that I had for 27 years, pays well, holiday pay, sick pay. What am I thinking? Anyway, so that's how I ended up in the Pet Deli. And Deb had a great start to the business. It was just in a really small shop, and the building then got sold. So I moved after 6 months of being my first time business owner, moved premises and got a great location where we can expand on what Deb had previously done, which then included the holistic health, which is a passion to me because of my experience with Indy, my dog, not getting the support that I needed. So that's how I got into it, which is pretty awesome.
Excellent. So what was the story with Indy? Did she have some health issues early on? What led you down that path?
So Indy started limping at an early age of 8 months old,
Oh,
and I took her to the vet, and they didn't know exactly what was wrong. They did scans. They still weren't 100% sure. And they ended up diagnosing her with hip dysplasia, which I found fascinating because I had her um, desexed at 20 weeks on the advice from the vets so she could have a hip dysplasia operation so that that wouldn't become an issue. So it was all a bit confusing.
mm.
And yeah, diagnosed her with that. And all they kept telling me was what I couldn't do with my dog. No one could tell me what I could do with my dog. You can't run her. You can't this. She's an 8-month old border collie.
That's so nice.
And then, oh my God, it was so hard. It's like, it was just so frustrating. Walk her around the block, let her smell. And I'm like, well, that's not going to be any kind of life for her.
No.
And then I met Susie from Therapeutics, who does dog massaging. And I rang her and I was in tears on the phone to her going, I don't know what to do. Everyone keeps telling me what I can't do. And she was the first person to support me in trying to find a solution and trying to make sure she can live a really good life, because it kind of seemed a bit doomsdale. And go forward another 5 years, I asked if I could get another scan because I didn't feel that it felt like hip dysplasia, and found out it wasn't hip dysplasia, and
Wow.
took her to a physio who was a good connection of Susie, and we discovered that she had a twisted vertebrae, which was from a dog bite when she was 8 months old. So where the
Wow.
dog bit her, it twisted her vertebrae. So then the physio, Megan Lamming from here in Adelaide, then fixed that issue. And so the journey began that I had a team of people supporting me instead of telling me what I couldn't do. So treating wellness instead of illness. And she's now 11, and we are doing lots of walks and lots of things. But yeah, I just get getting frustrated trying to get supportive advice. So that is where my journey of doing the holistic support in Pet Deli came from.
Amazing. So,
Mm.
for pet owners out there who aren't familiar with the term, I guess are used to traditional vets once a year for the annual checkup, and that's usually about it. Talk to us a little more about holistic health care, what that means to you.
So holistic health is treating or supporting your pet, cat or dog or chicken or whatever it might be, as a whole picture. So when we look at ourselves and GPs, etc., there's always a quick fix and not finding out the core root problem of what it actually is. So holistic health can support that, and we work down and actually find out what the problem is rather than just giving drugs or medication. Don't get me wrong, drugs and medication can be really, really good, but there's also side effects to that. But you need to know what the problem is so you can treat it properly. When we get told to eat healthy, the first thing that we get told to do is remove processed foods from our diet, because
Mhm.
everything that processed foods do causes inflammation in the body. Inflammation in the body causes disease and so much other things as well. So it's not just looking at the diet, it's looking at the core problem of what is wrong and working as a collective team. Originally, I did call it the Pet Deli Collective instead of the Pet Deli Wellness Studio, a group of people to support your pet's wellness and not illness. So, not just treating the symptoms, but looking at the whole being.
Absolutely, and there's an important component of preventative care in there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like diet's the foundation, but so is lifestyle, movement, emotional well-being, the environment. There's so many things that you need to, again, like ourselves, put in place for preventative care.
Absolutely, it's just it's quite a significant shift in thinking for a lot of people. If you're not someone who has seen a naturopath or a nutritionist or a herbalist yourself in the past, it's not the first thing that comes to mind. And I guess in Western medicine, we're sort of trained to just seek advice when there's something wrong or when symptoms appear. Whereas, it is so much more beneficial for health and general wellness. To be getting the information, educating yourself, and talking to people about keeping the body in balance, generally, not necessarily trying to fix a problem, but trying to prevent that problem from occurring in the first place.
Absolutely. Prevention is absolutely key. Excuse, excuse me. Went down the wrong well. Prevention is the key. And we want to help your pets stay well and not do something when they're sick. So you prevent them from getting sick, less vet bills, less illness, less everything. So it's just looking at your dog as a whole picture, because we do have vets that come in. I've got an in-house vet, and we look at the titre testing, the pathology, the fecal testing, and all that kind of thing, which is a preventative tool in your toolbox. So you can look at the bloods, the whole bloods, and then do it again in 12 months' time. And if anything shifts, you know that something might be going wrong. So that's another preventative that we can do. And also with the titer testing, oh my God, I don't know, I can talk until I'm blue in the face about titer testing. Instead of giving vaccination every year, like ourselves,
They
we are
don't
vaccinating.
need.
They don't know, they don't at all. We have vaccinations as kids, which are for viruses, once in our lifetime. Once. Our pets are exactly the same. They don't need it every year, but it is important that those levels are there. And you can do a titer test, which then looks at the levels of vaccination in their blood. And if they need to get vaccinated, they do. If not, don't worry about it. Same with worming. We don't worm ourselves all the time. We will
No.
worm ourselves. No, we'll worm ourselves when there is an issue, but you have preventative foods that can help you with that. Pets are the same. And you can get a fecal test, which will test to see if they've got any parasites in there. And then you can treat with knowledge, not just guessing. So all guesswork gone. and you just treat what's necessary. Same with fleas. We need to treat fleas when they're actually there. So yeah, there's a lot of preventative stuff that we do, and I work with vets. I've got 2 vets that come in. So they are standard Western medicine vets, as well as looking at the holistic side of it, so the integrative vets.
Excellent. And the thing that I really love too is when you're talking about holistic care, it's not just talking about taking care of the physical body, it's taking care of their mental and emotional state as
Yes.
well. They're not just physically healthy, but they're happy, they're thriving, they're satisfied, you know. You're just enriching their lives in such an important way.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we work with dog trainers as well. And Susie, who I mentioned earlier, does body conditioning classes. It's not about exercising. So I made the mistake with Indy when she was younger, border collie, need to exercise her. It's not the case. And I wasn't aware of that. And mental stimulation to make them happy. And mental
Yeah,
stimulation can tire them out a lot as well. So there's so many things that we do for both humans and our pets that are just taught to us, which is actually not the best outcome. So we're looking at educating people to find better ways to look after our pets.
absolutely. So, can you give us some more ideas of some of the services that you're providing through the Wellness Centre? You mentioned titre testing and a couple of other things. What other sorts of things do you offer consults on for customers?
So I mentioned earlier we've got an in-resident vet that operates out of my wellness room. So we've built a wellness studio in next to the shop, and it's got its separate entrance, etc. So if there's any anxiety or anything like that, they can go in through that door. It's just a small space, which is amazing. And Dr. Carolyn Kinghorn, as I mentioned before, is a vet, so she does standard vet consults. She's also does acupuncture. She does
Fantastic.
nutritional medicine. She does works with anxiety. She works with itchy. She works with everything that we work with. So I've got beautiful supplements that she will recommend, these supplements from Australian Pet Nutrition and Canine Pharmaceuticals and Augustine approved. So
Yep,
it goes beautifully. So we were recommending them, but to come then from a vet is a really, really strong and supportive way, again, of looking after your pets naturally.
absolutely.
And if medication is required, she can also do that, which is just amazing. She was treating humans with acupuncture. So I may have been in there with Indy, my dog, while she's getting acupuncture. So am I. So I'm on the bed getting acupuncture, as well as Indy on the ground getting it as well. So yeah.
Oh, it works beautifully. I mean, I've been a huge advocate for that going back. I'm dating myself here, but going back, 20 years plus before it was even popular. I mean, back in the day, there was one, maybe two integrated vets across all of Melbourne. It
Mm.
just wasn't a popular modality. And I remember taking one of my dogs back in the day. He was getting older and he was having problems with the hips, as you do when they're getting on a little bit. And I was trying to minimize, drugs and traditional intervention. And the difference was amazing. And I know
Mm.
myself, I've had acupuncture for years for different things.
Yeah, absolutely. But,
Yeah, no,
she also does things like, a dog's got yeast infections. It's such a common issue. She
yeah.
makes up her own herbs to clean the ears instead of getting medicated stuff, as well as a yeast plus, for example, from Australian Pet Nutrition. And then a change in diet as well. So funny, she's just ringing now on the phone. But she can support all of that. And I think one of the most common things we get is yeast infections and itchy skin, all that kind of stuff, which we all know can come from the gut or does come from the gut, and the diet and everything else. So she can just support all of that. So Dr. Carolyn is just amazing with overall health. Again, supporting wellness, not just sickness. And then we've got a network of people. So I said I've got Dr. Gregory from Adelaide Home Vet, who also comes in and does the pathology days. I have a physio. I've got one of my staff who does hydrotherapy. I've got Susie who does
Amazing.
the massage. Yeah, I've got everything that I want to get more, but I've got a nutritionist who also does massage and laser and all that kind of stuff. But they can all talk together and support that pet together. We recently had a professionals day where we got whole professionals together so we can get people meeting, and if they've got a case that they think someone else might be able to help with. So yeah, working together as a community to support your pets. That's a herbalist and this, that, and the other. And it's just
Mhm.
amazing to have this fantastic network of people to support us.
It's absolutely the way forward. I think it's something that's been needed for a long, long time and something that has already been happening for years overseas. US, Canada, UK, Asia are years ahead of us, but it'll be so great once that becomes a little bit more, I guess, commonplace. And just getting the word out there, is the big thing. Just trying to get the information out there, let people know what's available and how it can help them and how it can help their pet. And the fact that you've got all of that available and the products or the supplements to support their health plan all under one roof is just
Mhm.
amazing. It couldn't be easier.
I know, and that's kind of exactly what you've just hit the nail on the head. I want to make it as easy as possible for pet parents to get the support they need, not just from all those practitioners, which is just amazing, but also the food. So, as I said, working with Caro, she does the integrative, um, like food medicine, nutritional medicine. So, she will come out to the shop with the clients and actually show them the foods that they can get to support good gut health. If there's major issues, you can also deal with that. But I also supply a huge range of fresh food as well as Bath Balancer, for example, which is created by an Narelle from Balanced Bark. It's a completer that you just add meat to and bone content, and that is it. You've got a complete meal. I've got vegetables available. I've got offal available. I've got organ meat. I've got pre-mades. I've got fresh food. So whatever floats your boat on how you want to do it, we've got a solution for you to make it as easy as possible. We do bulk orders. We do all sorts of things. So holistically, we're helping to support your pet with every possible way that we can do it.
Absolutely, and I love the products like the meal completers or balancers because it just takes all of the guesswork and all of the effort out of it, especially, for people who are time poor or they're new to fresh feeding and they're not confident, that they've got the balance right. I mean, I use them all the time. It makes them
Yeah.
so quick and so easy that there's really no reason not to.
No, and as I said, we've even got the dry stuff that you can add water to or add it to food, to meat to make it complete. So therefore, if you're traveling, for example, a lot of the raw feeders will take these products when they're traveling. So it's not just a store that I'm trying to offer. Much bigger than Pet Deli. It's about changing the way people think, and it's a whole movement. I'm also going to try and start going in and seeing vets and talking to them about what we do and how we can help support them, because vets are amazing, 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 amazing what they do, but they're not trained in nutrition.
No,
And I've got that support here with nutritionists. I've worked with two of them, and I'm more than happy to help support that, because more and more people are going to ask for fresh food. They don't have time to worry about all that kind of stuff. Like, you go to your GP, you get a referral to a nutritionist. So I'm also talking to them and
exactly.
working with vets, not against vets, because I love vets. They're amazing. And working together, we can achieve so much more, because the amount that they have to know is huge. They can't have the
Yeah.
time to talk about nutrition. So that's where we come in, and we're more than happy to support them. So that's another direction that I'm trying to go as well.
No, that sounds absolutely amazing. I mean, so many people don't realize, um, out of all of the things that vets have to learn at university, I mean, what is it, 9, 10 years? Something in that
Yeah, it's massive.
ballpark.
Yeah.
And in terms of animal nutrition, it's 1 semester. It's less than 6
Yes.
months.
Yeah.
And, they've got so many other things they need to learn. It's impossible for them without additional training or support to really get across everything. And there are so many vets out there that want to do better and want to learn more, but it's having the time, and the resources to be able to ingest that extra learning and then feel confident to be talking to their patients about it. So yeah, that's going to be really valuable for the industry.
Yeah. I'm really, really excited about it, but I also want to create less pets going to them. Try and let's not have so much sickness in our pets, and this can help. And with their support and working with them, I think we can win the battle. So, yeah. And I said, I've just done my own journey on nutrition. So my dog was eating way better than what I was, and I was eating
Yeah.
convenience food, and I'm menopausal, which we ladies of our age know all about that.
Mhm.
And eating a real whole food diet has made a massive difference to me as well. So we know that eating processed food is not good for our health whatsoever, and eating a real whole food diet is much better. So they're no different to avoid illnesses.
Absolutely. And the thing that I use when I'm talking to customers, because I get questions all the time. I mean, because I make skincare, they're coming to me generally with skin problems, to which my first question is, what are you feeding?
Yes.
And many of them don't see, I guess, the distinction between raw and fresh versus, kibble. Oh, I fed it to him for such and such number of years and he's never had a problem. I'm like, okay, well, do you have children? Yes. Okay. Would you feed them McDonald's or pizza or KFC every night of the week? Definitely not. Well, that's kind of what you're doing to your dog or your cat. And when you
Yes.
put it in those terms, it becomes a little bit easier for them to get their head around.
Was that I compare it to humans all day, every day. That's every
Mm.
conversation that I have, because we get told it. It's our choice if we eat processed food. It's not our pet's choice. It's our choice for
Well,
them
that's
as
right.
well.
They don't get
Yeah.
a choice. They get what
No.
they're given.
Yeah.
So, if you want them to be around as long as possible, which we all do, and you don't want to be spending a fortune at the vet, you don't want them to be sad, sick, and miserable, put something better in the bowl.
Yeah. And look, they get so much moisture from their food. So if you're just giving them dry food alone, imagine eating wheat bix without milk every day. That's kind of what you're feeding them. So um,
Exactly.
even if you just start by adding some fresh food to the bowl, it makes a massive, massive difference. So everything that we can possibly do to support whatever journey they want to take, we have got at Pet Deli as well. So we just have to do better.
Yeah. And even just baby steps. I mean, it doesn't have to be
Mm,
an all or nothing approach. If they are
yes.
if they are toying with the idea, but they're not quite ready to take that first step, get them to add some bone broth over the kibble. They're getting all that extra nutrition, and they're also getting fluids, so you're preventing dehydration. Little baby steps like that are easy to start, get that habit formed, and then slowly start adding some fresh meats, some bones. I think that's a much easier way for.
And I also think people are so scared of bones, but
Yeah,
there is the wrong way to do bones and there is the right way to do bones. And I think when people go to the butcher and ask for dog bones, generally you'll get a marrow bone. So think about a marrow bone, a leg of an animal that's 500 kilos plus. So it's super, super, super dense. It's the ones that can fracture their teeth. They can splinter and cause damage on the way down. And all that marrow at once can cause pancreatitis. So if you choose bones that are non-weight bearing, like duck wings, chicken wings, turkey necks, rib bones, brisket bones, goat necks, they're all nice and safe. It's nothing to be scared of. It's about educating and realizing that that releases happy hormones. It's so amazing for their dental health. Putting in smackos or dental chews, it's not going to clean your dog's teeth. Dry food is not going to clean your dog's teeth. Again, if you had a bowl of cereal to clean your teeth, that wouldn't work. So
no,
it's just getting the education piece across that bones are great. It's the choice of bone that is not.
absolutely.
Don't go
And
to
I
big
think
bones.
exactly, but I think the other thing that people need to keep in mind as well, in addition to the types of bone, especially if you've got a puppy that's not used to chewing certain bones, keep an eye on them. Don't leave them
Yes.
out in the yard unsupervised. That's when there can be problems. When mine are chewing bones, even though mine are adults, I'm still keeping them close by so I can keep an eye on them. If I don't like the way something's looking, or they're starting to break off smaller pieces and I think, I don't like the look of
Mm.
that, I take them away. And the size of things as well. I mean, I've got retrievers. So, for example, things like chicken necks don't work because they can swallow them whole. and they're getting no benefits from that, not to mention it can be a choking hazard. So I'll go for wings, I'll go for frames, I'll go for turkey necks. It's also finding something that's the appropriate size for your dog, preferably for a harder bone, something that's around head size-ish, if
Yeah.
you
Well, we
can.
always say bigger than their head.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't want it too small, especially if you're not watching them. That's when things can go very wrong.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but the amount of times I hear people say, "Can you give me a chew that I can leave my dog with that'll, keep them occupied for 2 or 3 hours?" I went, "No, because you shouldn't be
Mm,
feeding something like that. It could do some
yeah.
damage." But, I mean, people just wanna leave them with a bone at home, and I don't do that either.
Yeah, it's not the best plan. Look, I'll admit I am naughty at times when I can't get hold of the better bones, and I will get the odd marrow bone from the butcher, but I'm watching them. And if I
Yeah,
see any signs that I'm not happy with, I will also make sure it's not a really massive one that's absolutely chockers with marrow. I will let them have a chew. I will let them chew the meat and the fat off it. Beyond that, it goes in the bin.
yeah,
You've just got to be aware of what's happening. And if you want something to keep them occupied and you can't supervise them, get a lick mat and put
yeah,
something on that, or get one of the little yogi pots and fill it with yummies
yes.
and freeze it. That's going to keep them occupied, but it's a lot safer.
I've got all of them as well, so yes, I definitely agree with you, and use the marrow bones for making bone broth. Great for making bone broth.
Use them for bone broth. It's not something you want to leave them with. Absolutely not. As I said, once they've chewed all the tasty, yummy things off it, I take them away.
Yeah,
Because I'm in a rural area, it's very, very difficult being a raw feeder, especially. People just don't feed raw where I live. They're traditional farmers and dog owners who don't believe in that sort of thing.
yeah.
So it's a case of when I can get somewhere, so I can get emu bones, I can get, I can get roo ribs and I can get all of those great things, where they're getting, such a fantastic range of nutrients. They're getting some fun and interesting things in their rotation. It's enrichment for them, and they just love it. They think you're the best mum ever.
Yeah, absolutely. They think that anyway because 'cause we're just the best pet parents, aren't we?
On occasion, my girls will say no because they're naughty, but
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, look, there's also so many things that you can do to tire them out. One of my staff members has 3 border collies, so that's always, an interesting combination. And
mm,
she does the luring, she does agility, she does obedience, she does so many things with her dogs to keep their mind stimulated, which I think a lot of people need to do, myself included. But I take Indy on a lot of trail walks, so not just a walk around the block, and it's always somewhere different. And she's actually asleep on the couch behind me at the minute. So after a big walk this morning, so there are different ways, absolutely, of tiring your pet out for sure.
oh, definitely. And the mental stimulation is just as important, I think, in sometimes even more important than the physical exercise. You don't have to run them and wear them out till they can barely stand. Take them to
Mhm.
different environments, take them, over different surfaces, let them experience different smells. I mean, that gets them good and tired just as much as, as a run will, because you're engaging all of those senses and it's just so satisfying for them.
Yeah, and we all know the, tennis ball and the damage it can do on their teeth, and just, not a rubber ball. It wears their teeth down, and I learnt with Indy, again, things I'll do differently. We did that to distract her, and they'll just keep going and going and going, and they
Yeah.
just don't need that much exercise.
And the
So
risk of
I definitely
injury
learnt
as
that the hard
well.
way.
The risk of injury as well. I mean, none of us knew that
Massive.
20 years ago when we were out there with our ball chuckers and they were doing aerial gymnastics to catch the ball. I mean, thinking about it now, I'm horrified. Fortunately, none of mine are bulldogs, but yeah, that's another big issue that a lot of pet owners aren't aware of either.
Yeah. So, yes, there is lots to learn, and I said that's kind of what we're trying to, like, create a movement, I think, of all of these things. And I said I wanted to make a space that I would like to visit and have all those I would have loved to have all those opportunities when I first got Indy. I was very fortunate to meet Deb, the previous owner, and she started me on the fresh food path, and then I met other people through that. So I'm trying to replicate that and get everything all in one space. We choose our products wisely. We don't just have anything in store. Yours being some of them are in store, and everything's chosen. We will definitely have different things to your regular pet food stores. If anyone wants anything, I'm happy to look at it as well. And it's all about supporting local, but getting that community feeling is everything that I'm trying to do. Even the customers talk to each other now. I just love it. The customers come in, the dogs or cats. I've had cats come in as well on lead. It's a great space to just have a community of like-minded people, really, I love it. I just love it.
Absolutely. I'm definitely with you on that one. One of the things that I'm toying with, possibly towards the end of the year or early next year, is doing a virtual version of that based on the podcast. I'm looking at putting together some sort of group or membership where we make extra behind the scenes footage available. We do lives with different subject matter experts so people can actually get on there and ask questions and have their questions answered, and a whole mess of different resources in different formats to help answer their questions and give them some guidance. It's a big project though, so it's going to be quite
Yes.
a few months in the making to get
Yeah.
that going. But yeah, having the physical space to do that as well, and giving all the treats and getting all the cuddles.
Yes. It's my
Yeah,
therapy.
oh, absolutely. That's the one thing I said that to someone the other day. That's the number one thing I miss from way back when I had the daycare centre and the salon. I miss having the face-to-face chats with my customers, and being able to spend time with the dogs and get to know them and look after them and all that sort of stuff. We had some really great times, and you would think I was very strange. The conversations I would have in the car with a group of dogs on the way to and from the park. Yeah, we
It's
had
the
we had
best.
our own little pack, and we'd gather everyone up in the van, and we'd be nodding away to the music, or we'd be chatting, and we'd go to the park, and we'd do our thing. And, they were all my little buddies.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was great fun.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to leave our listeners with one last piece of advice or one last thought, what's the first thing that jumps into your head?
It's the age-old thing. Our pets are not just pets. They're our family members. We make all their decisions for them, including them in everything that you do. Give them as much enrichment and the best possible life as possible. Probably said possibly too many times,
It's
but
okay.
just yeah, they are part of the family and they're not just sit there and lock them outside. I mean, look, everyone does do that, but the best support that we can give them is through nutrition, supporting wellness, not illness, and getting ahead of the curve. If there's anything wrong, you can address it. Getting the best support you can. You can get surrounded by amazing people and not medicate at the first drop of a hat. There's always a different way of doing things naturally. If medication's needed, it is needed. I'm not adverse to that. But, looking at things naturally, feeding naturally, good, real whole food is just the best way for our pets. And that's all pets: chickens, dogs, cats, ferrets, snakes, whatever it might be. Real whole
Mhm.
food is just the best one. And yourself, look after yourself that way as well.
Absolutely, could not agree more. Thank you so much. I could have this conversation for hours and hours on end, so we will absolutely have to get you back when you've got some more time. There are so many different topics we could really go into depth on. Yeah, it's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. I really appreciate it. And yeah, any questions, if you're living in Adelaide, feel free to reach out.
Now, for people who are in the area, where do they find you?
So we are at 1/788 Marion Road, Marion, in the Marion Trade Centre. Pet Deli, 6 days a week, Monday through to Saturday.
Excellent. Fantastic. There you go. If you're in the area, check it out. Head down to Marion. and say
We'd
hello
love
to
to see
Fiona.
you, and your pets are welcome. Cats, dogs, ferrets, whatever you like, bring them in.
Horses?
Or you could try. They could fit in. I've got a big space out the back. You never know.
There you go. That's awesome. Thank you so much again.